What is up, everybody? It's your boys, Gin and Juice, back at it again. And today we got something special for you. Last week we talked about breaking, we talked about the hobby, we talked about Panini, we talked about pricing. And this week we are going to talk with an actual breaker. Allow me to introduce G over at Louisville Sports Cards. What up, buddy?
Woohoo!
How's it going? It's going pretty good, man.
Good.
You're going pretty good. So we've been having a lot of conversations here, and I'm just going to jump right into it. What's up, everybody? Luke, how are you? Jillian?
What is up, Chad?
What's up? What's up? So just to fill you in a little bit on last week and the kind of conversations that we've had, we talked about the hobby and the way pricing and everything is going. We talked about distributors and how they are. We talked about, supporting the local card shops and what they're doing is actually key. And one of the things that a local card shop does is breaking. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about, why breaking is important to the hobby.
Well, I feel like you hit a lot of people across the country who want to rip cards, pull cool cards like you guys do a lot.
We try, right?
Andrew used to rip more and hit more cool cards. Now Juice hits all the cool cards. But I know
I can't be greedy. I can't take all of the good cards, right?
This is fair.
Because you stack my boxes.
Well, most card shops, I feel like the good stores do have a breaker, whether it's one-on-one card shop, Indie Card Exchange, RBI Crew. It's important because the internet's just evolved and social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So you can't just have people come into the store and buy stuff off the shelves anymore.
Right. And that makes sense. And it's pricing overall is just getting out of control in some aspects. And breaking is a good way to get in the hobby on the cheap, but it's also a good way for the card shops to make a little money because yes,
correct.
Obviously we're all not, hiding on a rock here. We understand that card shops are a business and they got to make some money. And really the ROI that they get of buying a product, especially when it gets from a distributor, I mean, you can only charge so much because the distributor is already charging a decent amount. So in order for a shop to make any type of profit whatsoever, is going to have to be doing these breaks.
For sure.
And there's some breakers, though, that mark up a tremendous amount. And there's some that are not, right?
Yeah. I feel like we try to keep things reasonably priced. Some people mark it up, and that's fine. You can do what you want. But I will say over the last 3 or 4 months, our cost from Topps is up 25%. So I mean, they're taking a bigger cut now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fanatics owns Topps now, and so they're taking a bigger cut, which cuts into, like you said, the ROI of the local card store. Now, once the allocation and the licenses are fully transferred over to Topps permanently, then I feel like the ROI could increase. And, you might see certain products when we were at the National and Josh Luber talked about certain products for card stores, certain products for breakers, certain products for, retail or card stores that are going to go into stadiums.
Yeah. And I heard that Topps and those guys, they just made a deal to get that done a lot sooner than later, which is going to be interesting. You're going to see a lot of it. Oh, it was Lids. Lids is now partnered with Topps and Fanatics basically to push that product.
They've started that here in Louisville already.
Which is crazy. You can go into Lids and get a hat and get a product. I mean, that's really what Fanatics wants to do. But
we got to get Andrew to start wearing hats.
But nah, he's got the hair going, But I guess the real question is, what type of products are going to be at these shops? Are they going to be retail product? Are they going to be hobby product?
Yeah.
Is it going to be hybrid boxes? Because there's hybrid boxes out there. What's going to actually be exclusive to a hobby shop and what's not? That's going to be the big question later on down the road. As we do these interviews, we always like to interact with chat. So let's just take a moment and catch up on chat. Gin and Juice back at it again. Hey, Aaron, and thanks over there on Facebook. Chris Starter on Facebook wants to know, MetaZoo Mike interview when? Chris, you asked that every single live, and I appreciate it. It's coming very soon. It was a very long conversation. We want to make sure that the information is edited correctly so that way you all can hear it and really get a good something good from it. Greg, bear down Juice. Yeah, bear down the real Wildcats, baby. Woo woo. Let's go. It's the real Wildcats. What's up, Gin and Juice? Jude said, what do you guys think of the consistency of PSA grading versus other grading companies? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I think other grading companies are interesting, right? You have
You want me to chime in?
Yeah, please.
So we actually got some mail today from Rare Editions. I guess it's a new grading company.
Yeah, okay. I've seen them.
The slab almost felt like a case you put your cell phone in.
Yeah.
And then it was wrapped in the
rubber.
Rubber, right? But I twisted it a little bit and I could just feel it all crack.
Really?
Just lightly just did that and it twisted it pretty good. But as a Jordan collector, I sent a bunch of cards to SGC, and never again will I send my Jordan cards to SGC because
that bad?
It was bad.
Grade wise or
grade wise, especially for what I thought they would grade. And I've already crossed a couple of them, and the PSA grades were higher than SGC.
Well, I got a little experiment coming along, so I'm going to be
I love SGC for vintage cards, and I love SGC for ultra modern, but that middle of the road, like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, I don't.
Yeah. Let's with me, I PSA is always number one. I think obviously their PSA 10 is never a perfect 10. They think is what a card is, their best version of a card itself being graded. Obviously Beckett, their black label, is something to strive for if you're like one of those collectors, but it's so damn hard to get. And it's good and it's bad. It's good in the sense that it's super rare, but it's bad because everything else about Beckett, I wish their standard went across, because there's so many times these individuals go in and take a card, they grade it versus another grading company, and it just keeps going back and forth. Right. And sometimes it's just, I don't know, overall, it just throws the values off completely and discredits a lot of companies, especially when they're drastic. But it's also at the same time, too, it's awareness. People got to know how these companies grade. And I think overall, if you're looking at a thicker card, you kind of want to go with Beckett. If you're looking for a standard card, try to keep with PSA, because at the end of the day, it's all about the value and what the company brings, in my opinion. And I think PSA is just top notch.
I've always loved Beckett. I would say 90% of my Jordans are Beckett. But in the last year and a half, I think Beckett has really cost themselves a lot of market share.
Yeah.
Just being behind on the 8 ball and not adjusting with COVID. So I have an experiment coming up with some of my cards too that
everybody's doing experiments.
Yeah.
I just like subgrades on BGS. I wish PSA would do some subgrades. And you did mention rare edition, so I was thinking about sending some of my F1 cards over there to see how it grades and the case and everything, because I saw some of their videos of them like hitting it with a hammer and those like punch tools and things like that, and it wasn't like
it's a nice slab.
So it's a thick slab.
It's heavy. Can you imagine having 25
like 20 of those in your case? Yeah.
Cool. Todd sent in a 96 Skybox Credentials PSA. That's a big card.
In Lootbox, I brought him Marquise Brown and Neil Henry rookie back, blackish, numbered 210 RPA dual shoot. Should I sell it or trade it? It's really hard for really put a value on position players outside of quarterback. Quarterback is like the Charizard if you're a Pokemon fan. Blue Eyes if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. The quarterback is where you want to put your money at. Wide receivers and other position players just don't have a lot of longevity. So it's very rare for them to hold their value. I mean, look at the Randy Mosses of the world, the Jerry Rices of the world. Their rookie cards aren't anywhere near quarterbacks of their era. So just take it with a grain of salt. If you didn't get into it with a lot, I think you're going to be just fine. Let's see. Damn, look at the anniversary badge beside my name. Chris, let's go, buddy. That's awesome. PSA, guys, is now too expensive for price. It's not possible for that live in Europe, or for us that live in Europe, send cards for 80 euros each. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're down to 25 USD on you have to sign up. So I don't know what that correlates to euro, but
yeah, I did. They had the announcement today, so I joined in and got 20 slots at the $50 level. So I'm going to get some cards ready to send in. I think the turnaround times, they say estimated like 3 months, but I think you can get them back quicker. I think
it's pretty quick.
People, yeah, at least a little bit over a month, I think.
I sent in 9 cards on March 11th, and I got them back on April 18th.
Yeah.
A lot of D-book autos, rookie autos.
Ooh, wrestle with Andy.
David said, "Hey, cutie, I'm back." All right, well, welcome back, buddy. Jaylen Brown dropping 50 tonight. Buy his cards now, nerds, says Brian. I don't think he's going to be dropping 50, and I probably would be a hard pass on Jaylen Brown.
But we are nerds, though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you call me whatever you want. I love being a nerd, you know what I mean? Let's see. Down 25.5. Wait, what? Is it really down 25.5? I haven't looked at the game.
I feel like they just started.
Yeah. Anyway. Our NRTs, I think he meant NFTs, the future of the hobby.
Nope.
No. NFTs, guys, I know this is kind of getting off topic of what we really want to talk about tonight, but real quick on NFTs. NFTs are only valuable if the property behind them or the item behind them actually has something unique tied to it. The Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, you actually get a bunch of rare items and invites and other stuff. You're actually a part of an exclusive club. There's a lot of things to it, which a lot of people don't talk about, and it's really annoying because people are just trying to pass off NFTs as like a good investment.
There's got to be some utility behind it in order for it to be a successful thing.
Right.
If not, you're just taking a gamble and hoping that it becomes interesting to a mass of people. So
I really want to answer this because Wrestle with Andy is a good fan of the channel, a good friend of mine, and his videos are amazing. If you guys want to learn about wrestling, definitely watch Wrestle with Andy. It's phenomenal content. But he wants to know what we thought of WWE Prism. Overall, I think WWE Prism was fantastic. The only problem is I felt like the diehard wrestling community did not get behind it. Prism is a flagship set to really collect. The product and the cards looked amazing, but it felt like it did not have the support that they thought they were going to get. And in my opinion, the product is going to continue to decrease in value. I think it has dropped from I think 1,200 to like $750 a box, which is crazy.
It's dropped it's pretty much dropped to where it was on release day.
Yeah,
I mean we were selling it on release day lower than anybody. I think we were at $850, something like that. And then we sold some at like 11 because we bought more. But I think that's about right. I mean, $750 if you think about it, $800 for 12 packs.
Yeah, I think that might be fine. The problem is just you can get Topps Chrome and these other, top value set from another company for $100 a box.
Correct. That's what Dave said, because he's a big wrestling fan, is when it came out, is just that wrestling people don't want to spend more than like $250 a box at the most. And it was $1,000.
Yeah, I think that's why it didn't resonate enough with the community.
This kind of is good for people to join breaks, right? Because it may be an inexpensive way to dip your toes into a new product like WWE Prism. You may not know what's in it, and you may not want to spend the $800 or $1,200 4 box. So what an easier way to dip your toes than to, join a break. It's kind of like how I got into the sports card thing, although I went ham and it suddenly realized how expensive just joining like small breaks can eventually get. And so when you spend like 15,000 in a week, you realize you spent way too much money. So,
but it's
don't fall into my trap.
Hey, real quick, fellas, hold that thought. I'm gonna leave it to you two for a second. I just gotta back out here. It looks like I'm having technical difficulties with my camera for some reason. Ooh. So I'll let you guys chat it up for a second. I'll be right back.
Nice.
15,000 is not that much, Andrew.
In a week? Yeah. So yeah, just be careful when you join breaks. But
you have some really good cards to show for it, though.
Yeah. I mean the gold burrow, the gold disco auto, for sure. Yeah, it's a good way to do it. But I mean,
FTL you still have, right?
Yeah, all of those. Yeah. So I mean, breaks are definitely I think a key aspect for sports card shops to move inventory, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. And it's fun. It's interactive too. And, like if you're going to say you don't want to buy a $1,500 box, you'd rather buy one team. Yeah, you could get the Lions, but you could also get the Patriots. So, I mean, it's like it combines a little bit of collecting, gambling,
I mean, let's face it. If you're opening up products these days, you're gambling.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. It was funny. I actually went back today and looked at what 2020 National Treasures was on release day compared to 2021. It's really not that different. I mean, it's definitely more now, but compared to so I looked at my 2020 National Treasures PYT case break, and the Chargers were $3,700. And the Patriots were $2,700. So the Patriots are the top team, and they were $1,000 less than the Chargers.
Well, to be fair, in my opinion, that when you did your NT break, that was still around that was like at the beginning of that boom.
Oh yeah. It was at the very beginning of that product. I mean,
yeah, you're seeing it table off a little bit more right now. Like you said, the Patriots are drastically cheaper than the Chargers.
You can't find 2021 National Treasures probably less than 20,000 for a case,
which is insane, absolutely insane. Yeah. So I mean, a minimum of $5,000 a box. It comes with 4, right?
Yeah, 4 boxes, 8 cards per box. So my break is I have it priced at $20,000. I mean, which is the lowest you're going to find. So.
Jesus, that's absolutely insane.
So how difficult is it for you when you get a thing like that to actually break it down? Because you're doing a PYT, right. So every team has a certain number of players, good players versus not the desirable ones. Yeah. So pricing it out has got to be tough for all of those teams.
It takes time. So I look at the checklist and see who's in it, and who's not in it. Obviously, who the big rookie classes are. And then I just kind of have a formula that I use. It's kind of weighted. So it, like the Browns, the Lions, and all the other teams are the low. So all of those are going to be priced the same. You have like your low tier teams, your low mid, your mids, your mid ends, and then you have your 5 or 6 high end teams. It's all based on percentages. And I mean, there's only 32 cards in the whole break, but I mean, the Justin Herbert NT vertical PSA 9 just did $100,000. So is it worth a $2,000 gamble? I think so.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, I don't think any of us here are going to say that Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence is at the level and the hype of a Justin Herbert yet, right?
Not yet. No, not yet.
I mean, positives and negatives about the product being so delayed and unique upon release date of the past couple of years is you get to see these players play. I think with Justin Herbert, his hype and value increased during last season because a lot of the products were dropping while he was playing or the year prior, and a lot of it was good. He was playing well his rookie year. Granted they didn't do much, but he was playing well. Trevor Lawrence, for instance, didn't play great. That's why you saw the flip in Mac Jones' value skyrocket after a couple of weeks, because the Patriots were a solid team and we were able to see him play. And now the Patriots on a lot of these breaks are the team or the product to get, when in fact I think you're better off trying to get a Trevor Lawrence still, in my opinion.
I think it's kind of so football is not really benefiting by the products being delayed. Because it's not football season, and football really drives during football season. But I will say on the other end, basketball, 2021, 2022 basketball, because before the season started, everybody's like, well, this draft class is weak. Nobody in it. Right. Now that the season's over, we still have Prism to come out. You know, all these products, and like, okay, we have Wagner, Jalen Green, Duarte, Jalen Suggs, Cunningham. So everyone's like, oh, wow, this
Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley.
This class actually has like 8 or 9 guys in it. So I feel like basketball, because everything's been delayed, is kind of driven.
Josh Giddey. Yeah, it's crazy.
The 2022 football class, with only having one quarterback in the first 2 rounds, is going to skyrocket 2021 football.
Do you think that we're going to see prices drop to a somewhat pre-boom era with this next draft class coming out? Or do you think they'll be a little bit lower, but not substantially lower?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't like to use them as a reference, but Blowout's pre-selling Prism Hobby Football at $1,700 a box.
Yep.
Wow.
$1,700.
Holy crap.
So they're obviously capitalizing on that to see if people are going to bite at that price. It's probably a $1,200 to $1,300 box, in my opinion. That's probably where we'll shoot to be at. But football is just so popular, and now they're expanding to Europe, and you have 3 or 4 games a year in England. So,
and now they're going to Mexico too, I think.
Yeah, and this class has so many quarterbacks. And
the past 2 classes have had, this class does have a lot of quarterbacks, but then the class prior, I mean, had some big time name quarterbacks. So like back-to-back years of phenomenal quarterback is a little crazy.
2022 is kind of a down year, but if you look at the mock drafts for 2023, they have 6 quarterbacks going in the top 10. Because you have Bryce Young from Alabama and you have CJ Stroud from Ohio State. So those are 2 big names from 2 big schools. So 2022 might take a dip, but 2023 football is going to be absurd, in my opinion.
Absolutely absurd.
Do you think Panini will catch up and we'll be back onto a normal schedule, or you think it's just going to?
If you look at their release calendar, you can really see that they are catching up pretty quick. I mean, National Treasures was supposed to come out May 18th. They moved it up 2 weeks. Because I was live one night, and then people were like, "Hey, do you have National Treasures?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll have it in 2 weeks." And I looked at the calendar. So, oh no, it's May 4th now.
Wow, so that's crazy. Real quick, since we're talking about product, I'm going to throw this one up on the screen. What do you guys think about Prism football getting pushed back again? I know we talked about it basketball a little bit, whatnot, but what are
June
our
3rd,
thoughts
I think, is where it's at now.
Is there a possibility with another delay?
Well, so June 3rd, they have Optic and Prism is the same day, which it's never going to happen. So Select is next Wednesday, the 11th. Prism will probably stay somewhere around early to mid-June, and I think you'll see Optic maybe after July 4th, just from my guess. But I think Prism will probably stay somewhere around mid-June, which is crazy because, I mean, OTAs for 2022 start in August?
Yeah, very quick. Yeah. It's absolutely insane with the with how quick the next season's coming up, and we're finally getting to the premium product the season prior.
Right.
Let's one of the things that I really want to find out and understand and really let the community know are just some things that they should expect from card breakers or beginning in a break or so forth. What are some of any recommendations you potentially could have there?
I mean, I would definitely find someone that you trust and stick with a few that you rely on, you trust, that the pricing's right and consistent, or that it is consistent, not inconsistent. So, I mean, I always try to price the breaks competitively, and then just making sure people ship on time too. So your cards aren't sitting around for a week, 2 weeks at a time. and just be smart about it. Obviously, set budgets. And I think that was one of the things about Panini One is that Panini One was last week and National Treasures was this week. So everybody was kind of waiting on National Treasures. Because Panini doesn't care. I mean, the products are still going out.
Yeah, Panini's still going to get their money. Same with the distributors.
They still get their money, and they've increased their prices to distributors. The distributors are increasing their prices to card shops, mainly because distributors know that they're going to get squeezed when Fanatics takes over. So they're trying to take every buck
dollar that they can. Yeah.
But I get in breaks too. I break with Adam. I used to rip more with like Ryan and RBI crew. It's fun. It's entertainment, and it has an aspect that you can combine gambling with collecting with entertainment. And it just adds you put all those three together, it's a pretty fun time. It's like going to Vegas with you guys.
No, I don't think so. Vegas is a totally different animal.
Vegas Vegas is drastically different. Especially when a certain group of people go and it's just a certain group of people, then it's story time. Oh man. All right, let's go back to the chat here a little bit. Let's kind of catch up. Yeah, did you guys hear about that Wander 101 hitting from a Walgreens hanger?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's nuts. But it just goes to show you that they're putting certain things, they're not just putting products or in hobby or retail. They're mixing it all up.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Going back to some of the product that we opened up before in the past, when are you going to open up National Treasures on the channel and Panini 101 like you all did last year? So we opened up a couple of Panini 101 boxes. I think we probably have maybe 3 or 4 videos of this year's Panini 101. National Treasures comes out tomorrow, right. And we're actually going to be recording a video of G's break because both Andrew and I have teams in it. And I highly recommend, I put in the chat right now, if you guys want to take a look at it, it's going to be Louisville Sports Cards Instagram page.
Yep.
I'll make sure it gets in the chat. It looks like it's having a little trouble there sending, but yeah. And
there's some good teams left.
Yeah, there's some good teams left. If you guys are interested in getting to that, go ahead and take a look. We'll be there. And we're going to record that for a video. Our reactions and so forth kind of live like we did with Ali from Titan and a couple other breakers. I think that's really fun. I think it's a different way to do a video, and it gets to show you guys what we do when we get into these breaks. So yeah, there's that coming.
And NT is by far one of the best products of the year. I mean, it has more popularity than Flawless as far as football goes, but the vertical RPAs. But yeah, last year Andrew ripped you guys did the case at the National, right?
Yeah. Andrew opened up the National Treasures football case, and then this year I opened up Flawless so far, and it sounds like Andrew and I, the National, maybe we can get together. Who knows? We might buy another case. I don't know if the prices keep rising because by the time we get to that, I mean, National Treasures.
We'll just get we'll just hit the LeBron triple logo, man, and then we'll retire.
After everybody from Whatnot doesn't hit it.
Yeah. After they all open their cases and they don't hit it, we'll hit it, and then.
But like, if I'm looking at the pricing on this, I mean, the Texans are $900, and Davis Mills sells.
Yeah,
you go to Davis Mills, you're going to do well. I mean, so as far as the big teams left in the break, it's the Bears, the Bengals, the Jets, and the Texans, I guess.
And then you have some lower tier teams there too.
Yeah,
I think I saw like the Titans maybe at like 150 or 250 or something like that.
They're gone now. They were 130. But I mean, you can get the Seahawks for $200, which is pretty cheap. Eagles for $575. Devontae Smith autos.
I think I got 4 teams in your break.
You got 5.
Oh, did I get 5? Let's tell everybody who I got.
You got 5. You have the Bills, Josh Allen. You have the Cardinals for your PC, Kyler. You have the Chiefs, Mahomes does have autos, but they're very, very short printed. And you have the Rams, Super Bowl champ Rams, and then you have Washington. I mean, for $100 though, I mean, you hit a Diami Brown RPA, it's going to be $500.
Pay for itself, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the lower teams, because if you think about a break, yeah, you could buy one of the expensive teams and gamble, but like I said, entertainment's part of it. So you can buy the Browns for $200, maybe hit a patch card or a jersey card or an auto, but you're in a break. You're in a $20,000 break with you guys and having fun.
I wouldn't put it. Don't put it us attached to it. You're just in a break, finding cheap, way to be in a big time break at a cheaper cost. And a lot of times,
who knows? You might get lucky and you hit like a phenomenal card that definitely pays more than what you paid for the team. So.
I mean, what's a Zach Wilson RPA going to be? $8,000?
See, that's the crazy part. Like a lot of these true RPAs out of 99, if you hit one of these 5 quarterbacks, I think there are, holy smokes. I mean, even if you hit a Davis Mills, it's a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
As well. The Steelers, somebody just said go Steelers. They're $775. I mean, a Najee Harris auto.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, we'll come back to that. Michael Flynn over here. Gin and Juice, much respect to both of you. I've been watching for a long time and by far my favorite sports card videos around. Dude, thank you so much, my man.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. David wants to know what's y'all's most expensive card. For me, it's probably the Justin Herbert RPA that I 100% own now.
Probably the one G pulled, the gold disco Joe Burrow auto, that 9 out of 10. That also 9 out of 10.
I see a trend here. Juice's best card was from Flawless, which I was involved with. Your best card.
You were there. You were there. Not really. You didn't open the box.
Is your house floating right now with all the air from the dome?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and bourbon.
And bourbon.
Bourbon. There you go.
Hey, C Money, thanks so much for being on the stream. I appreciate you coming through, my man. Thank you.
So somebody commented over here. You see the Brian Wood comment?
Yeah.
So I used to work with him when I was in with Marriott years ago. So he follows your channel. Yeah.
Brian, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Did he buy a card for me back in at the National? Was that
Nope.
No,
he lives in the Chicago area, but so Brian was my only off-track betting experience in Chicago. I was working in Chicago during the Derby, which is this week, and went to an OTB, which was phenomenal.
Oh, Nick Foles says Stagg Jr. for the win.
Dude, first off, Nick Foles needs to come back to the Philadelphia Eagles, FYI. Here's an interesting comment, Rusty. Let's discuss allocation and connecting with distributors. We probably won't get too granular with it, but just allocation. We really touched on that last time, and we got to remember allocation for stores really depends on, one, how much the store is actually selling, and two, how much the store is willing to take on. So what that means is a lot of times when you get allocation from these distributors, they push out product and so forth that you technically don't want to buy, but the more of you taking that product on, the more they would be generous in increasing your allocation, plus on top of performance, selling product. So it's a mixture of everything. I don't mean to sum it up and generalize it, but it was a good conversation last week, but that's basically the gist of it.
Yeah. So like our distributor is giving us 3 boxes of National Treasures. 3.
Wow.
A case is 4. So instead of just giving us a case, they're going to open it, take one out, give us 3, because how they look at it is, like I said, they're holding boxes to protect themselves for when Fanatics takes over. And that's a business decision, and I don't disagree with them. But they're like, okay, we're going to give our top 5 accounts 4 boxes, our next 5 3 boxes, our next 5 2 boxes, our next 5 1 box, and then everybody else, we're just going to keep it. And
makes sense.
Basically, there's one guy who controls the distribution for National Treasures, Immaculate, Flawless, Panini One, all the top products. He controls it 100%. There's no algorithm to that.
It's all about those reorders. So make sure you go to your local card shops and keep buying the product so that they can reorder it. And even if it's higher, keep buying it, because supporting the reorders is what's going to help those stores get better allocations.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. No need to add anything else there. Fantastic. Oh, here we go. Brian Wood.
Wholesale socks.
Socks. All right.
I think the question here is, do we have any Luka rookie cards? Yeah, I think all of us have a little bit of Luka. Oh, here we go. Here's the granddaddy of them all. I think this guy is like a Jordan Love situation.
I think when you're talking about quarterbacks like that, it's almost like prospecting in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think basketball and football have become so much more like baseball over the past few years because, you know, you're investing in a kid, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, because Bowman comes out tomorrow in baseball, and you're talking about people chasing 16, 17, 18, and 19-year-old kids who are not going to be in the bigs for probably at least 3 or 4 years minimum.
Yeah, that's why I don't deal in the baseball aspect of it, because prospecting is tough, and you have to wait years before they may even have a chance of making it to the bigs. So
and they could come out hot, and then all of a sudden, like that one guy on the Reds, he came out hot, and now he's not even on the Reds anymore. He's not even in the league. I forget the gentleman's name, but I saw a TikTok where this guy did a comparison, and it really, baseball prospecting, like Drew said, is just
the Reds
are
really good at baseball. They're 3-19, so yeah, they're really
here we go. Let's take a couple more questions. We'll get back into it. Does anyone like Flux basketball cards, and do you have any graded? I personally not a huge fan of Flux. I don't have anything graded from the Flux product, but you know, some of them out there are somewhat decent. Some of their rare inserts, different levels, are really cool. But honestly, I could do without Flux. That's just my opinion.
I think it adds a different level, though. You know, it's a $300 box. So if you can't go into your card store and pay $800 to $1,000, you can buy a box of Flux, get 2 guaranteed autographs, and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of it, but I think it's necessary for different levels of collectors.
Yeah, fair point. All right, here we go. Who do you think is going to have a great second year from the quarterbacks from 2021?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think Zach Wilson's a huge buy right now. I think Zach Wilson has phenomenal weapons around him. They're putting together a nice little team there. They drafted well. I also think with Doug Peterson going down there to Jacksonville, I think he's a phenomenal coach right now for Trevor Lawrence. And I really think that's going to help him evolve as a quarterback. I really think those two are going to have massive bounce back years. I think Mac Jones actually might be in the decline. I'm not a believer in Mac Jones. I think it's more of his team that really got him to where he's at. I'm not buying into the hype.
I think you could see Mac struggle a little bit in year 2. A little second-year slump per se, because he is in a tough division with the Bills and the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins spent a lot of money.
They did.
And Tua's got a lot of weapons around him. So you're talking about a really good division. So you're talking about Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus' favorite image right there for
Ken Griffey Jr., baby. That's why I clicked on it. Ken Griffey Jr. is my guy. Same with G. G loves Ken Griffey Jr.
I love Griffey.
Let's talk about it. Drew Lock, buy or pass right now? Ooh. I think he's a pass. I don't think he's going to do anything in Seattle. He's got better weapons in Seattle. Well, maybe 1 or 2 wide receivers. I don't know.
Russell Wilson hardly got love in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's just it's a good market for sports teams, but it's not a small market, but it's just not a popular market.
Yeah. Hey, here's the TikTok. This guy said it right here. This is the guy. Follow that guy's name, Coach Co. He is the guy on TikTok. He's got this great mustache, and I follow all his stuff. The dude is a genius. I share it sometimes on Instagram. The dude's really good. Thanks, Nexus. Really appreciate you giving me the name. Let's see here. So jumping back, I know we go back and forth a little bit, but we definitely got to get some questions in. So with getting some of those questions in, we talked a little bit about breaking it and kind of what people can expect. You know, you mentioned national treasures already. I don't know if you covered it, but why does it make sense to get into the national treasures? I know you have the ability to get cheaper teams. But I think you did. I think you said National Treasures is probably the flagship product.
It is
of all of Panini, I would say,
of the high end for sure.
Do you think what's a better investment? How about this? Ooh. National Treasures or Prism?
I mean, I was gonna say there's two different flagships. You have the Prism is the Chrome, and National Treasure is the game used.
Yeah.
You know,
NT.
Yeah, I think NT is the flagship. NT is what carries the Panini brand, in my opinion.
I just don't know which one hurts. I guess NT hurts more if you strike out than Prism, but
I mean, I don't know.
I get destroyed all the time with Prism. I've literally dropped like 20 grand over the past 2 years on Prism, and I think the only thing I got from it was from a break. I didn't hold myself.
I think you'd be better off spending more money getting an NT, say for like the Broncos versus Prism with the Broncos, because at least in NT you're going to have a shot at Peyton Manning game used autographs.
Yeah,
and John Elway. So you're talking about two great quarterbacks.
Wow. Josh Martinez said, is $5K a good price for National Treasures? Yeah, and with doing the math, that's the average price. So if it's $20K per case or around $20K, so it'll probably be $5K a box, just doing the math backwards. It's solid for now. I wouldn't pay more than that. Like, you're going to see there's going to be some boxes out there, ladies and gentlemen, where some people have like 7,000, 7,500 on it. I can't tell you how to spend your money, but you would never see me buying into a box like that with that price at. Yes, we spend a lot of money on boxes, but we always get our boxes around the MSRP. I never go the flood price. I know it sounds crazy because we open up the expensive stuff, but at the same time too, we do have limits.
Yeah. And always building relationships with your local card shops always can help you get better pricing. Obviously if you're a consistent buyer and stuff, they'll hook you up from time to time.
Your favorite bald guy in Kentucky might give you a deal in a box.
There you go.
2K, Dave, baby. 2K.
Dave, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for swinging through.
Yeah, I was looking at it. So 2020, when I did the break on release day, was 16,000. This year, it's about 20 to 21. So it's up about 30, almost 30%, really.
Not bad.
So, G, I gotta ask. So, how much work is it to break? Like, people just see people like open cards and do that, but they don't see the behind the scenes. So, how much work actually goes behind the scenes from breaks?
More than what you would think, especially if it's a small operation, which we are. Some of the bigger breakers have shipping departments and 5, 6, 7 people. So yeah, it probably doesn't take them a lot of time. But I actually just did a interview with Adam Vilgraphs, and he asked the same question. I mean, I literally touch every single card that goes out, and I think there's something to say about that. I open them all, I price them all, I sort them all, I ship them all, I take them to the post office myself. So, knock on wood, there hasn't been a whole lot of issues because I'm so OCD about stuff. It probably takes me, I did shipping on Monday for probably 3 hours, something like that. And then 30 minutes at the post office because, nobody wants to work at the post office. So I stayed in line to scan all the packages. So I scan every single package in, hand it to them, they scan it in. I get a receipt saying their post office received it. I don't just walk in and drop it in the box. Like,
see, this is a different level of service.
Yeah.
you get from the different breakers. There's people who actually, take the time to care about each individual package. You make sure that the cards go to the right people. You always see you sticking stickers of people's cards, that you put out on display to make sure that the right person gets their card at the end of the day.
Josh. Yeah, exactly. I think it just, like I said earlier, you have to find someone you're comfortable with. And if I did that, I would crush my canvas with my bourbon barrels.
You got to do it now, man.
You got to do it now. Josh said. All right, that'll be another YouTube video when we're up in Kentucky. We'll film you doing a backflip.
I'll do a backflip if Josh buys the Bengals in the NT break.
Ooh, Joshy boy.
Josh is on the clock now. Josh is on the clock.
Chris over on Facebook has a good question. Would love to start breaking more at your at our card shop. Any startup info that would help? For me, just running a stream in general, make sure you have the essentials. Make sure you're prepped and ready to go. The last thing you want to do is be one of those breakers that don't have everything. And a lot of times breakers tend to overthink it. Make sure you have a proper phone stand. Make sure you have your phone charged. Make sure you have all your supplies, your box cutters, your sleeves, your top loaders. Make sure you have correct lighting. The last thing you want to do is have bad lighting. So do a couple test streams, a couple test videos, set up your lighting, and so forth. But generally, I call it the blocking and tackling. Sometimes I fail to do that. Sometimes when we start recording and Andrew and I have to pause and stuff, it's going to happen. But the more and more you can get consistent, the better habit it becomes, and you'll be ready to rock and roll.
Oh, and you need 100% to make sure everything is always on camera, in the view of the camera. Don't ever take anything off camera. When you open packs or anything, always open the packs. Make sure it's visible on camera. Make sure like G always does, shows that the box is empty. All breakers show that when they take all the cards out, they make sure to show the empty box, put those to the side, make sure the packs are always on camera, open them all on camera, because there've been a lot of people out there who's been trying to be slick and try to switch out cards because they think that they're, and they get caught and called out. So your reputation is the most important thing. It takes forever to build that level of trust with your customers, but all it takes is one mistake to just ruin it all. So you just got to make sure you got to keep that in the back of your mind.
I agree.
Great question, Chris. Hopefully that helps you out there. Colorado Cardboard King said called out when he's talking about Josh, and Josh said touche. That's it. He's like, I've done. You defeated me. Here we go. This is a good one. Enough space is important. Yes, having plenty of space to break. Make sure not everything is on top of each other. Right. Sometimes I'm guilty of this too with our breaking table. So I know this all too well. Know your product. Dave, I think you're correct. If you're an actual professional breaker, you want to know the product. But if you're someone that's starting out and you're not looking to break product or so forth, like Andrew and I, sometimes we don't know the product, but we're not one of those breakers who are selling a piece. We're opening for.
I struggle with certain stuff: soccer, wrestling, UFC.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris said great info. Yo, no problem, buddy. You have a good one. So I want to, we're running close here to the end of the time. We've been going for about 50 minutes. I know you got us skedaddle here, G, in just a little bit. Yep. So I would like to go over and show everybody my next PSA submission and have some conversations about it. Want to get your thoughts. There's going to be some cards, G, you have no idea what I'm doing. But I got a handful of sports cards. But first, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be across all genres. I'll get the some of the obvious out of the way, but I'm going to be grading 2 Charizard GX shinies. These go for about $700 still right now. It's PSA 10. I think both of those have a shot at PSA 10. Next up is going to be the Umbreon VMAX Secret Rare. Is a PSA 10. This is roughly around $650. Both of these Charizards here are the alternate art and the Rainbow Rare. Both go. The alternate art is close to about $550.
Hey, those are some weird sports players.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm getting to my sports. It's a lot of Zach Wilson. Yeah, right. So look at this one. I got my Batman Ninja right there. That's about a $1,500 card. and then I'm going to be submitting the Marvel card that we pulled with Spidey Jude over there.
Does PSA grade white shorts? Because I think you might have to. That might have to go to Beckett.
Yeah, so I might have to switch that over. But here comes the football cards. And G, I want to get your opinion. I'm actually, they're going to be a mixture of football and basketball. I'm submitting 4 cards here. I want to get your opinion on it. Here we go. First one up, Mac Jones. I got it in a break that wasn't yours. So I found another breaker. At the time, look, I bought all the Patriots because I wanted to get a Mac Jones, and I only.
And he doesn't even believe in Mac Jones.
I don't, but people are buying him, and I'm all about making money.
Yeah, Flipper.
Is it?
Go ahead, call me fun. I don't care. I mean, look,
Flipper, you're the scum of the hobby.
It's not even scum of the hobby. If someone's paying $1,000 for a PSA 10 Mac Jones, I will not charge you more than that. I will happily sell you a Mac Jones for $1,000.
And then because it's juice, it's a premium, so you have to pay an extra $500 on top because he touched it.
Look at that, my John Morant rookie. On the Horizon pack, we pulled this not too long ago. Phenomenal card. Then I got my 6 out of 7 Steph Curry veteran auto. I'm gonna get the auto graded as well.
Drew, didn't I hit you the 1 of 7?
Is that weird?
I got the green one. I think it's less.
I think it's out of 5.
I think it's out of 5.
Yeah, that card. Talk about a memory.
Yeah.
I still have that too.
This one is the best card the best raw card I pulled out of Prism, and I didn't even pull it. I was in a break. It wasn't your break, G. These are not any of the cards. I already got the
cheating on you. Look at that.
But it was the Desmond Bain True Gold auto.
It was with Yali, right?
Yeah, it was phenomenal card. I'm going to be submitting to PSA. Going to get that auto graded as well. I cleaned the card myself. I think it looks phenomenal. Strong shot at a PSA 10 there.
So I'll tell your viewers that the night that you hit the Bane, you posted it on Instagram. I was trying to fill my Revolution break. I text Juice and was like, hey, get in my Revolution break. What does Juice do? Hit the Pistons. What does he do? Hit a Cade Cunningham autograph and the die cut Cade Cunningham case hit.
It was phenomenal. I'll be showing those cards off here pretty soon too. I didn't go to the mail today. I think they might be there.
Probably. I sent it out Monday, I think.
Yeah, so I can't believe I hit a Cade Cunningham auto. I definitely got to get that graded for Revolution. Yeah. We'll say this now. So this is a chat exclusive. The die cut we did get, I might have to send that in to Panini for a replacement.
Yeah, it's definitely got some corner wear. I think I made that pretty clear on the live. Yeah. I will say that's one thing I do. If a card has a known defect, I will show it. So at least you can maybe snip the video, and if Panini is like, no, we're not going to replace it, you're like, hey, look, this came right out of the pack, and the corner was all folded back. So it's a sweet card. I mean.
Oh, another good thing to remember when you break, if you see any defects, to point it out.
Yeah,
on the video, just to make sure for full transparency to everybody, especially the guy who hit it.
Gee,
absolutely.
Random idea here.
Yeah,
you do a top 10 or top 15 sports card breaker to do or must do's, and you sell the PDF for $5. Boom, there you go. Business idea for you.
I can do that.
Business idea. Here we go. Supercross sports cards in the hobby. It's funny. I actually know. I went to school with a professional Supercross rider. His name's Chris Bloss. The dude is phenomenal. I remember I've known him since I was in 3rd grade, all the way up till now. I think he's still racing. I haven't checked in a while because I don't really watch Supercross.
I don't either.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'll watch Formula One.
Watch Formula One. Here we go. I posted a TikTok about dealing with some resealed Pokemon boxes recently, and I got called a scalper.
Oof. Oh, no. You're just trying to inform the hobby.
That's true. Never shy away from informing the hobby.
Ooh.
Any Star Wars for the 4th. I do have some Star Wars content that I will be posting as shorts. I opened up a couple more boxes of the Masterworks, and it was awesome break.
That's a cool product.
Yeah, I love it.
Hard to get, but definitely a good product, a fun product to open.
Jonathan asks, are you guys going to start breaking for other peeps? That's a conversation that we've been having a lot, and I've actually been talking to this guy here, G, about potentially doing some breaks. Here's the thing. Fully transparent. Myself and Andrew have very little time on our hands to do outside of what we're already doing. So we want to break, but breaking is a full-time gig. You're going to have to run the breaks. You're going to have to be a breaker, and you have to do it multiple times a week. If we do some type of breaking, it would have to be, we bring on a third person and join the streams every now and then. Maybe set up something like this where it's live consistently with a couple of webcams, and the breaker can just add us in every now and then, and we can be a part of the breaks and chat and hang out. I think that could be something in the future, but as of right now, there's not 100% plan to do it, but we'll see.
Hey, when we go 100% full time into this, once we quit our jobs, then we'll think about doing it. But for now, yeah, it does take a lot of work. So
maybe you should create a poll on your page of who wants to see Lootbox sports card breaks. Host, like I can do them. See what percentages.
Okay. Boom. We'll do it in the YouTube community tab. I'll do it tomorrow. So everybody, make sure you stay tuned and stay glued to your phones when that poll comes out, because I would love to get your opinions on it.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's see what this says. Brian says, whatnot breakers are some of the worst in the hobby. Little accountability. Breaker kicked me out of a stream for bringing up he should submit a request for a missing hit. No one cared for the customer. No care for the customers. Brian, it's funny because I asked our Discord this today, and I just wanted to get an idea of what are people's true thoughts of whatnot breaks. And I think the consensus across the board was, hey, we love the technology. The concept is phenomenal. It's just the community inside of whatnot with some of their streamers are really rude in what's bringing down that particular platform. I think the platform itself is genius. I really do like it. But it's interesting to see some of these streamers and breakers. Going back to G's comment earlier in our live where he mentioned that, you want to be involved in breaks with people you trust and who are holding themselves accountable, like telling you about a defective card, being open and honest. And that's going to be hard to find. And a lot of those individuals are breakers that have always been in the hobby. A lot of the rude individuals are the people that just started breaking just in the past 6 to 12 months.
They're trying to capitalize on that boom in the sports card side of things.
So it's hard to find, but I definitely think that's the route everybody should go. Brian, thanks for speaking out, man. All right. We're going to take a couple more questions, read chat for a couple more minutes, and we're going to sign off here. So I really appreciate everybody coming through. So let's take a look at a couple more. Oh, here we go. I got Flawless Collegiate Gabriel Davis that I've had a piece of plastic in the one touch. Oh, man, that's terrible. It was the diamond. Ooh. So like a little piece of the plastic fell off the one touch. That happens. I got a couple of those. I actually got it in the one breaks we did. Remember that, Andrew? I got a little piece in the back, I believe, and some of our PSA cards come back with little chips in it, which sucks.
Or hair.
Someone said, or hair. Someone said, any boxes marinating? If so, what are they? I typically allow G to tell us what boxes he has on the shelf. I ask him.
Been sitting there collecting dust.
And then once it's been about 6 or 7 months, then we get it and we open up Flawless RPA Justin Herbert.
Peter wants to know if there's an NT football break. Why, yes, there is, Peter.
There is an NT football break, and you know what? We'll go ahead and put that link in the YouTube chat there. Facebook should already have it. But yeah, Louisville Sports Cards is doing an NT break. There's a couple teams left. We're going to be recording.
We're involved in it
tomorrow. By all means, if you guys are interested, this is a good time for you guys to take a look. But remember, spend at your own risk and so forth.
I would say about the marinating question, maybe we could do this before the National, because I feel like there might be some marinating boxes being opened at the National in July.
Buddy, I'm going to be ready for that National. There's one thing, though, you got to help me out, and we'll say this before we go. I need to get my 75 packs for a 75 sub piece.
We didn't do that.
So
I already got 2 packs. I already got 2 packs for you.
We're working on a nice little break, about 75 cards or 75 packs for 75 subscribers or 75,000 subscribers. So thank you all for that. So we'll be putting that together. And then with that, chat, we'll probably do some giveaways around that. Yeah. We typically don't do a ton of giveaways because I don't want the channel to be about giveaways. I want you guys to enjoy the content and not just be here for free stuff. But at the same time, too, we want to give back to the community. So we'll definitely do that. Everybody coming in late. FF Gaming, what's up? How are you? Tom's Cards, I have bought a 86 footer basketball from an open case. Nice.
That's tough because the wax you can see through, so most people pick out the Jordan stickers and things like that. So
that they do.
Learned that after I bought the Fleer we opened.
Yes, that was a good video though.
It was. You ate the gum.
Everybody, thank you all so much for coming through today. G, thank you so much for hopping on and talking with us for a good solid hour here. You all are phenomenal. If you guys want to watch the replay, if you miss anything, you guys can go back here in about 10 and 15 minutes once the video is done processing and take a look. I'll go ahead and add some SEO into it. Maybe we can get additional views on the podcast. But thank you all for coming in tonight. I've always appreciate you giving us your free time. It's the most valuable thing that any of us have. So we are thankful. All right, G, Jen, I'll talk to you soon.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.